Financial services disclaimer. The content presented here is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as financial advice, recommendations, or an offer of any product, strategy, or security. Consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment or financial decision. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Investing involves risks, including the possible loss of capital. Always conduct your own research and consider your financial circumstances, risk tolerance, and investment objectives.
All right, so I do want to go ahead and welcome you all to this great event tonight. I was invited by, of course, Scotty ATL and the founders of Alex Lexington, Precious Metals and Diamonds. And so I know a lot of people would say entrepreneurship is about making money, right? Everybody is delving into entrepreneurship, about, I say, 85% of people, but most people don't know how to turn that entrepreneurship or money into actual wealth. A lot of people think wealth is me stacking up my bank account enough to have for 6 months and be able to pay bills. But I say wealth, to me, is longevity. And how can you create wealth for your generation and the generations to come? So I do want to introduce these lovely people who I met, I think it was like a month ago, who are the founders of Alex Lexington, one being Mr. Easton Dawkins. I call him Easton. He is the actual founder of Alex Lexington, and of course his daughter, Danielle Dawkins-Osborne. Make some noise for these two. Y'all gotta do better than that. To me, I feel like this is Black excellence. They're like, y'all know how Bill Gates, if you see Bill Gates walking down the street, you wouldn't know who he is, but everybody would acknowledge them as. So to me, when I had this conversation with you guys about a month ago, I said, man, this is really big. So how you doing, Mr. Dawkins?
I'm fine, thank you.
Are you shy out here today? He can't be shy.
Yeah.
So how are you doing today?
I'm fine.
You're fine?
Yeah.
Danielle, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I had a little something, but I'm good.
So she lost her voice just a bit, but just bear with us. So we're going to be sipping on some tea and some hot water. And so we're going to actually get started, right? This is basically a conversation. If you guys want to take off your heels and kick off your shoes or something, so we're just going to get really comfortable and take notes, because I definitely want you guys to take something away from this actual informational session, right? So we're going to start off with you, Mr. Dawkins. So he has a bio, but I really don't like to read the bio. I like it for it to be really authentic, so I'll tell you just the gist of him. You know, he's the precious metals and jewelry veteran. He served some time in the U.S. Army. He is the godfather in Manhattan and NYC, and they say when he walked down the street, people say, okay, they give him his flowers. No, this is real. That's the true story. Am I right or wrong? He's from Jamaica as well, but he's right here in Atlanta. So tell me a little bit more about how you got started in business.
Yeah. First, I say good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad you guys could make it. I got started in the business in 1977 when I got out of the military. My uncles, two of my uncles, was in business with Fred Kaplan on 47th Street. They were developing this technique to get the black spots out of diamonds, in which you put a microscopic line down to the black spot in the diamond, and you were able to turn the black spot white. We developed that technique with the help of Raytheon, who made the laser. And there was one problem in that when we started, we were trying to put the line in the diamond from the top down to the black spot. But that didn't work because it was creating a crack in the diamond. And my uncle came up with a little modification of the laser, and he was able to bring the line from the peak, from the black spot to the surface. And had a nice, beautiful, fine line which you only could see with a 10x loop. It was exciting when we got the line in the stone. From that, we were able to turn it white. We really didn't take the spot out. You wasn't supposed to sell the stone to anyone without you telling them that it is laser. So one guy did, I think he was in Ohio, and he sold this lady the stone, and he didn't tell her that it was. And it came a big lawsuit, and the people start giving it a bad name, and it more or less faded away. You wasn't able to make the profit that we used to make. When that went down, we went into the precious metal business. And we formed Five Star Precious Metal. That was in 1990, I think. And we were one of the major buyers of gold on 47th Street. Me and my brother. In 1992, I moved to Atlanta. And I commute from Atlanta to New York for 18 years. And when that became like tiresome, I decided to retire in 2010. When I came here, my daughter and my son-in-law, they wanted to get into business. So I did not. I wanted to just go off, retire, and enjoy my retirement, but they talked me into opening a place here.
One question, I know after being in the business for over 30 years, why did you say, I'm done with it, I'm retiring? Why did you say, I just wanted to retire? Because you still have a love for it. They pulled you back in, and we're gonna get to that in a minute, but they pulled you back into the business, and here we are today.
Yes, and I wasn't too thrilled about it.
Okay.
Because Atlanta, I say, it's a different animal. From New York, I sit in my office and the phone rings. And the customers come to me.
So when you sit at your office and the phone just rings, what are some of those phone calls like?
The customers from the major manufacturers want me to do their work. We were lasering diamonds, and we were soaking the small diamonds, in which when the cutters cut the diamond, sometimes the black spot comes to the surface, and there is an opening to it. And then all we had to do was to soak it in the autoclave, and that black spot would come out. We used to get thousands of carats every day. People wanted us to do it, thousands of carats.
And you were talking about carats, and we say carats as in?
Carats and diamonds.
Diamonds.
Yes, yeah.
So this is the plug. I just want you guys to know, like, the magnitude of who this man right here is. Like you said, 40 years. You're from Jamaica, right?
Yes.
I got to tell you, I had a time in Jamaica too, so I took your recommendation. He was telling me about Jamaica, say, oh, it's beautiful, Jazzy, go this. So I took your recommendation. But like I said, the magnitude of who you are. And like you said, you retired, but your daughter, Danielle, actually pulled you back in because she said, Daddy, we need to get back into the game, or I want to come back into this business. So Danielle, who is his daughter here, she's gonna tell you just a little bit about her history and how she came into this industry.
Excuse me. So in 2009, when Dad retired, I was finishing my business degree. And me and Andre had just gotten married, and so what are we gonna do? Andre suggested, he said, Dad needs to open a business here. And he'd been calling my father Dad, since we were teenagers. And Dad was like, okay. He says he fought it, but he thought it was a great idea.
Because he still loved the business, right?
He still loves the business. He still loves the deal. He still loves to grade a diamond. When the diamonds come into the office, you can see his face light up when he sees a beautiful diamond. And we did that in 2009 in Midtown Atlanta. And we haven't looked back since. Wow. And we've moved into other parts of the industry outside of just buying scrap metal, fine jewelry for me and investment grade and for my husband.
Nice. And then speaking of which, I can't wait to bring your husband up here because you guys have a story that just, can we talk about that story once he get up here? Is that okay? Okay. Because I love the story of how you guys met and how all of this just pretty much came full circle. So I absolutely love it. Can we bring Andre to the stage really quick? Okay, we're gonna add a chair in for just a second. While we're adding the chair and while we're scooting down just a little bit, Mr. Easton, I wanna know, for those of us who don't know what precious metals are, can you tell me a little bit more about what precious metals are and what is the top precious metal in the business?
It's really just gold, silver, platinum, and that's really it. The big part of the trade in New York is melting the gold and make bars.
Okay.
We just melt it and we send it to a refinery, and then the refinery more or less just recycle it into coins and bullion and that. But really the three main precious metal is gold, silver, platinum.
Gold, silver, and platinum. So I know in the hip hop world, a lot of people say, oh, I got this platinum diamond, I got platinum necklaces. What is more valuable, the platinum or the gold or the silver?
Right now is the gold. It's trading on the stock market, so we go on what the fix is, what they're trading every day. That's the price that we use. Say gold is traded now at a little less than $2,000 per ounce. And silver is like $24 per ounce. But the return on silver is still a good investment. But gold is the go-to metal that a lot of people invest in.
But why is platinum on the third level?
Platinum used to be higher than gold, but what happened is that they used to use it in cars to do the catalytic converter. So once they started using other material in the catalytic converter, there wasn't that big a demand for platinum as it used to be. But in the expensive cars, they still use it. They still is platinum they use in the catalytic converter.
Okay. Danielle, well, growing up with an industry godfather as a parent, what did you learn early on in your life about the good business practices? Because we know a lot of people have businesses, but they don't necessarily have a lot of good business practices as far as ethics. And tell me about that.
The one thing that I was taught from my father and Andre too, if you have nothing, you have your word. If you say you're gonna do something, you do it. If you don't or can't do what you said you were gonna do, you face whatever it is or whoever it is you said, and you make it right, however you can. And in this industry, relationships are everything. It is.
Yeah.
But like you said, relationships are everything in this business.
Yes.
When they truly say your word is your bond,
Yes.
your word is really your
industry,
bond in this industry.
The world is round. In life, the world is round. So for people that don't consider that, the world is round in general. But in our industry, the degrees of separation are a lot shorter than you think. And we've had many situations where clients try to vet us, and they ask people that we didn't know that they even knew. And I've had clients come back and say, hey, such and such said I should do business with you.
That they should not or should. Okay, should, yeah.
And they verified us through other people who we never even knew that they knew. And we've done a lot of business in this industry just because we said we use Dad's name basically to get around the system.
This the man right here. Y'all the peoples, but this the man right here.
So the Godfather story is true.
It is true.
It happened in real time. This happened last year. We literally had to apologize when we came back We said, okay, we thought they were stories. When
Wait,
people
Andre,
say-
don't tell them the whole story. Wait a minute,
okay.
wait a minute. We got to pace
My bad.
ourselves. We
My
got to
bad.
pace it.
But-
So speaking of which, since you're already on stage, tell us about you and who you are. Of course, you are Danielle's husband, but you're also a partner.
Eventually. I
You
got
say
there.
eventually?
I got there.
Go ahead.
When I started, I knew nothing.
Okay.
13 years ago, I literally looked around. I said, okay, I think this is a good idea. Dad at a Super Bowl party says, I'm going to open a business here in Atlanta. And I said, I think he's doing pretty okay for himself. I think it's something I should try. Here I am 13 years later. It's all I do. I don't see myself doing anything else. We consider ourselves lifers. And it's all I know.
So tell me a little bit about your background before you got started into the
So
precious.
before this,
But yes, before this. Look at her.
I moved to Atlanta in '98. I was in high school, public school. Danielle and I met at Stevenson High School. Our common thread was we of the same faith. We went to church together. Myself, my wife, my cousin, and another friend. We were the crew, and we all hung out together. Fast forward a couple years and a decade, and we decided to date.
But you guys were friends first.
Oh yeah, we all hung out, we partied together, all the major parties in Atlanta we all went to, visit each other in college. I was at the first wedding. We have history before that.
And you had no idea you were going to marry this guy right here and then be in this business. Why you, Danielle, okay, why did you look like that? She said, no.
We
He was
had
my
no
best
clue.
friend.
That was your best
Never-
friend.
We had
never in
no
life.
clue.
And you had no, see, that's why I always tell y'all, be careful about them best friends that they have now.
So
Because they end up like this, happy together. Do y'all see his butt?
here we are.
Here we are.
We just celebrated 13, 14?
14 years.
14
14 years. Huh?
The whole time we've been married, Dad says you can't work with family, but we do it every day.
See?
We don't even fight anymore. We just do what we do.
Now, because it is a family business, right? And we know, black people, white people, sometimes you just cannot work with family. Sometimes it just does not work. But you guys are working together. It's been over a decade. How is it working with Dad and your husband? You have to see him every day at work and then go home. How is it? First starting off with you, Mr. Easton.
I had different views of a business than them.
Okay.
This is theirs. This is not mine. All what's done here, they're the one that do it.
Okay.
I was in a different age. I was doing business much different in New York than here. As a matter of fact, I tell them over and over, I couldn't do business here. Everything is digital now. I wasn't in the digital age. The bank is digital, everything. You don't go to the bank no more. You do everything on the computer. Everything is digital. I just let them do it. I sit back whenever I come to the office. I come and I help in what I can help. I more or less coach them on buying diamonds.
Okay. And that's very important.
Because you have to be able to determine the cut, color, clarity, carat weight. The carat weight is not hard. You can weigh the stone, but the color, the clarity, those are very important. And if you make one mistake on either one, you can lose your money.
Oh,
This is
wow.
very easy, very easy. You can buy a diamond now for $10,000 and it doesn't worth $1,000.
What?
So
If you cut it the wrong way or if you...
you
Literally
have to
what he
be
said.
able to see, you have to be able to evaluate it and see every diamond have some type of imperfection in it. A lot of people, unless the diamonds say flawless, it have some type of imperfection in it. And you have to be able to see it. And you're looking at a VS stone, they won't be able to see the imperfection that's in it. Now they are able to, but they won't be able to see the imperfection in the stone that what's make it a VVS stone. because the VVS is very slightly included. And VS very included. So you have to be able to see those type of flaws in the diamond, and a lot of times you have to be a trained eye. You have to have a trained eye to see it.
Interesting. Okay. So going back to working with family too, and we're gonna come back to. So you guys in the business as well with Dad. So he's coaching you all on training your eye to spot out good diamonds. Your husband has an issue with something, and you have an issue with something. How do you guys work those kinks out, speaking of working with family?
You work those kinks out in the moment. And 14 years, we've learned to do it faster. So instead of being mad at you for a couple of hours, we get past it in 5 minutes now. Like,
we don't fight.
We don't fight.
Fighting is overrated. When we first started, it was rough, to say the least.
Very rough.
Like when you get a new job and the first 90 days, you're on your best behavior, we started off rough. Just argue in the car, because we just got married. We didn't know any better. You argue in the car, you come to work.
You argue at work.
You at work.
And if
Dad
you don't
don't care.
talk, and if you don't talk, you're not making money because you have to work together, and you get past that really quickly.
Now, I'm saying this to say it can work, right?
Oh.
A lot of people say, oh, my spouse needs his job and I need my job. But if you guys can do it in a great way, learn how to work out those kinks, and then you got Dad over here coaching, it can work. My family, it can't work. I cannot. I'm telling you, it just wouldn't work for me because I know my family. But this right here, I love the way.
I would say, think of it like this. There's a greater goal. For example, like the name Alex Lexington. We literally, act of God, came up with that name. Alex is short for Alexandria. I'm not Alex. Alex is our now 9-year-old.
Beautiful.
And Lexington is the rainbow baby. We did a rebranding when we moved out of Midtown. And Lexington is the child that was literally on the way.
Wow.
We renamed the business in September of, 2018? And he was due January. Came early.
Wow.
And he's the miracle baby. And we literally, act of God, renamed the business. So that's the greater good that we work toward in our business. So we don't argue because it's literally bigger than us.
The goal and the purpose.
Correct.
Is bigger. And that's what we have to understand, especially working in family.
And I tried to get fired and they won't fire me.
You said you what?
I tried to get fired.
You tried to get fired.
All right, I got fired once.
Okay. See, Andre is not telling the truth. Dad facial expression says everything that we need to know, right?
So, can I tell you a story?
Of course.
Okay. We had a family member. Carlton Rose was a great part of our business. It was 4 of us when we first started. He passed in 2018. Carlton was our head of sales. Tells us everything that we need to do. Dad and I got into it one day. I think we was, a couple months in the business? Maybe 5 months in. Dad and I get into it. I leave. I'm at Atlantic Station now, thinking my marriage is done, can't go home, don't have a way to get home. We didn't have a car. We had one car.
And she had it.
And I left in the car, and I'm thinking, man, I can't go home. This is over. We just got married. I'm shooting around at Atlantic Station at the LA Fitness, and my phone rings. It's Carlton. Carlton says, I know you quit, but lunchtime is over. So I got like 2 customers waiting in the lobby for you.
Oh, wow.
So I'll see you in 15 minutes. And that's the first and last time we really had a knockout, drag-out fight. No, that's not the first. That's not the last time. But that's the last time I quit.
See,
but that's the last time I quit.
We have to watch out for Andre.
I'm just being honest.
Danielle, your husband, we got to watch out for him.
We absolutely do.
But Dad and I,
joking.
we do this song and dance thing now with customers. We work it out. We don't fight anymore. It's not worth the time.
But it's family. But again, you fight, you have a conversation about it, and you get past it. Because again, if this was not purpose-driven, you guys would not be here. So Andre, while I have you on the stage, why are precious metals valuable, and who should people look at them? Why should people look at them as an investment? Because after our conversation that we had last month, and I said, man, I think I want y'all to pay me in gold. I don't want the check, pay me in gold. Seriously, because it's an investment, right?
Precious metals are the best kept secret, literally. And I say that because everybody's money's different. But it doesn't matter what level of money you have. Everybody needs some. And if you're saving money, everybody needs it to be stored in something that is tangible, it's physical, it's literally been around since biblical times. You just don't know it's hiding in plain sight. And no one's gonna tell you that they have all this metal sitting in their safe or their basement or wherever they store it. So no one's gonna tell you this, just like we don't have these conversations about money in society in general. We're in a different era now, I think. Everybody's talking about entrepreneurship, but nobody says, okay, I made this money, where am I gonna put it? How do I keep it? You have your popular categories, but holistically, the United States as a whole, I'm just gonna say the US, it's not cultural like in other countries. Every other country around the world, precious metals is cultural, meaning you get married, metal is what they're giving for weddings, wedding gifts. They're not giving other tangible things, intangible things, I'm sorry. So precious metals is crucial, but to keep it simple, metals is something that everybody should possess at your level, whatever that level is. Everyone's money's different. I'm not here to say what you should do, but it's not gonna get you rich, but it's there to store and retain what you have. You don't wanna lose it.
You don't wanna lose it. I love that. Dad, you had anything to add?
Let me draw an example. A gentleman, a customer of ours, when silver was $12 an ounce, came in, and gold was, I think, $1,200 an ounce. It was $1,200 an ounce?
Something like that.
He came in, he bought off $500,000 worth of metal.
Say he.
Yes.
Okay.
Came in, he bought $500,000 worth of metal. That was in, what, 2011?
2012.
Yeah, somewhere
Now, he doubled his money. He actually doubled his money. Gold is $2,000 an ounce and silver is $24 an ounce.
Wow.
Every indicator shows that precious metal is going to go, especially silver too, show that silver is going to go higher, move higher and higher, especially with the new solar panels and stuff.
Other things that
they're going to need silver.
Right.
industrial use is what we call it.
Industrial use is going to drive silver up.
Because we see it now. I don't know if you guys are seeing the Times on CNN everywhere. We are moving into a cashless society.
Yes.
And you see a lot of pawn shops or a lot of commercials asking you guys to pawn your gold. Have you guys seen those commercials? I haven't seen them lately, but I've seen them a lot over the years and say, hey, if you guys have any gold, come and pawn it and we'll give you cash for your gold. Why shouldn't people necessarily do that? Should they do that or should they not do that? If we still have gold around.
It depends on what you're trying to accomplish.
Okay.
I don't particularly believe in pawn, but if you're trying to liquidate gold for a position to do something, then yes.
For money.
For money. If you need, we have a client who we see him twice a year. He sells his coins and bullion to pay his grandchildren's college tuition.
You say he sells it?
Yes.
No, where does he sell it, girl? Because when I buy my coins, I need to sell it somewhere. Where do you sell the coins? Okay.
Where?
Where?
You can sell them with us. Come into Champlain.
So we can sell and you buy the gold.
Yes.
We do.
And tell me how that process works. So just say I'm just regular Joe Blow on the street, right? And I say, hey, I got 5 herringbone chains and I need you guys to, tell me what would you say to me or what would that transaction be like?
I would say, I'm assuming you're calling. I need you to set an appointment for a consult We can go through what you have.
Okay.
We can give you an offer on what you have. We can talk about what your goals are for it. Do you want to turn that into coins and bullion, or are you using it for something else? And we're of the mindset that if we can't come to an agreement, it was a pleasure meeting you. We always love meeting new people. And if there comes a time where we can service you, I would love you to call me back. But if you do what our service and what we're offering, then we can do business then and there.
Nice. Andre, would you like that? Oh.
Yeah, as you bring up the pawn shop concept, the thing is this: you go to the pawn shop, they'll give you a fraction of the price of it. Now, if you don't go back and pick that thing out, you know how much money you lose? So it's better you liquidate it. You come to someone like, I don't say come to us, but come to someone like us and outright sell it, because at least you are going to get the market price for it.
See? And that's where I was getting at. Listen, I was in college, y'all. I was like 19, okay? I've learned my lesson. But my dad had given me a gold ring for high school, and I was like, dang, I can't call my daddy for no more money. He's not gonna give me any money. And I'm like, wait, what? My dad paid more than $50. But give it here, let me get the $50 and I'll come back. So I did pawn it, but I got it back though. So I still have it back. Right. But like you said, it goes back to what you were saying. They don't give you the full value of what your gold would be worth, because they will buy your gold and they will turn it into a profit, especially if you don't come and pick it back up for, 30 days? Right. And they'll sell it. They'll give you $100 for it, and then they'll sell it for $1,400.
But a lot of them will take it to us.
See, and they'll take it to you all.
And sell it to us.
And sell it to you.
Yeah, because we melt it. We buy the gold, we buy all that as scrap.
See?
And then we send it to the refinery, and then the refinery recycle it. They make coins, they make bullion, make jewelry, whatever. Yeah.
Andre, you wanted to ask something?
I was going to say, kind of piggybacking what Danielle was saying, everything is based on everyone's situation. There's no straightforward situation. If you have a piece, for example, you have a nice chain, some rings. We have clients that come in, they say, I don't wear this anymore. I want to repurpose it. You then take it and you sell it. We make you an offer. Then we've got clients right now turning said pieces into new pieces. So there are different avenues, but I always like to say, know what you're doing. Do some research. The best customers that we have are customers that do some research. If you did no research, you're going to get any kind of offer, just like on your house, just like on your personal finance or anything else in life.
Right.
So do your research. I always say, the more informed my customer is, the easier it is for me, because no one's going to give you something that is unfair. So we're big on education as well, which is why we're here right now tonight. Education is what we're big on. I'm always big on education. We have educational content that's out there as well, but I always tell people, don't just take my opinion, do your own research. And Dad says that to all of our customers. And there's so many different avenues by which you can do what you're doing. If you're selling it to liquidate it,
right.
If you're selling it to turn it into an investment vehicle, you're going to sell it to Indulge, as we like to say at Alex Lexington. We have the Indulgence Avenue, where people take their old jewelry, get the money from it, create something new.
Okay.
Everybody doesn't want to wear, for example, they inherit something. They don't want to wear their grandmother's jewelry.
I know.
Sometimes it's nice, sometimes it's not, but people
But they can bring it to you all, and you can repurpose it.
You come see me, we make you an offer. People literally go to the next office and they go indulge, as we like to say, and go see Danielle, and then you get something a little more up to date, your personal liking as well.
So Danielle, you design jewelry.
I do.
So you design some of those pieces that you have on, which I absolutely love. Okay.
My rings, Andre,
yes, ma'am.
Me and Andre designed our wedding bands. Some of the pieces are just from vendors that we use, I source from. But anything can be made. The sky's the limit, and the imagination is where we stop.
Now, do some people come in with some like outlandish design, and you like, sister, we can't do that. We can't make you a bust around whole chain out of the jewelry that you just came here with.
Right. Now,
Because, you know, people, we will do that. We will do that sometimes, like, I got this heirloom and I want you to make this. And you say, okay, might not be realistic, but I can tell you what you can do with it.
we can have a realistic conversation about what this is, what we can do with it. Maybe we need to add to it to get to where we're going. But that's all a part of the creative process and getting to know my clients and understanding what makes them tick and what is going to put a smile on their face on something they're probably going to wear for the next 10 to 20 years, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. So being in this business, and I guess you all can answer it, what's the biggest lesson and learning curve that you've learned from being in the business?
You have to be, your word is your honor. That's the biggest thing in this business. I can actually take up the phone right now and I can call any one of my associates in New York, and if I want a 50-carat diamond, I can have it here tomorrow. Because of my honor, as long as I say it, it is good.
Your reputation.
Your reputation is, if you have a bad reputation in this business, you can't do business. You will not do business. Because you cannot afford to buy everything that you want to keep in a showcase. You cannot afford it. Nobody can. Don't let all these jewelry that you see in these showcase and things fool you. Then these people don't buy them.
Okay, look.
They don't buy it. As a matter of fact, for one example, I went to one of my, they can tell you, I went to one of my customers in New York and said, oh, you got a showcase? Come, I'll stock out the store. That's what she told me. They're my witness. They said,
Can I give you a story?
I'll come, I'll stock out the store. We told him we really not doing it. It's online. Most of the business is done online now, so, you know. But whatever, your word is your honor. Your word is, in New York, you give a handshake, they call it a Mazzal.
They call it what?
Mazzal.
The Mazzal.
The Mazzal.
Okay, is that the, you said that's the handshake?
It's a handshake. Like, you put it and I say, Mazzal.
And that means my word is bond?
That means your word is honor.
Okay. So when I go to New York, are they gonna look at me crazy when I go up to Mazzal? Who taught you that?
Mazzal.
The Godfather taught me that, okay? No.
Mazzal.
Mazzal,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So Danielle, for you?
For me, in this industry, everything is being thorough. You don't do anything halfway will either get you bankrupt or get you in trouble with a client, because they don't come to you with their life savings, or they don't come to you with, I want to make an engagement ring for the love of my life, and they're trusting you to get it right and to do what you say you're gonna do. So being absolutely thorough in everything you do, because halfway won't work.
Halfway will not work. I love that. Ms. Andre?
We fix problems. Our specialty is fixing a lot of problems. When I say problems, people want things done. People come to you to close positions, so to speak. In my case scenario, I deal with a lot of people that invest, of course. So people come to you and they want something done, and they may want it done at a rate that's unreasonable. Imagine trying to close a house in a week. Is that possible? Can you close on a house in a week?
I sure can. Can I do that? No? Okay. If I have $1 million, will they do that? No. I'm joking. It's very hard. I know it's hard.
I get customers that come to me and they want all kinds of things. They say, hey, I need this moved, and I need it moved yesterday. And we specialize in making a lot of miracles happen, so to speak.
Okay.
As long as we can work within the parameters of the situation, we do a very good job of making things happen. And being reliable is one of the things that, you know, I rest my hat on. You have your word. You have your name on a handshake if you have nothing else in this world. I'm not a street guy, but the principle expands through everything. You have your word and a handshake. I stress that to my kids. It's how this world works well, that's how our world works in our business. So we make things happen, and we strive to be reliable. People call us. My phone's probably ringing off right now. people calling me different things, depending on the situation. And we just deliver. We have people here tonight that are clients that they've seen in real time happen some of the situations that transpire, and they're like, they wanted what? How fast? That's not realistic. We deliver. So being consistent and reliable.
Consistent and reliable. I love that one. So we were talking about investments, right? So if somebody wanted to invest, let's just say $2,000, $5,000, $100,000, $1 million, what does that actually look like?
Depends on what your situation is. Nothing is straightforward. Nothing is like cookie cut. Okay, we have this person, this package, this. We evaluate your life.
Okay.
For example, are you 50, 60? Do you want to take possession of it yourself? Do you want us to put it in a depository? We affiliate with some of the best depositories in the country, even in the world. Do you want to store it here? Do you want to store it in Switzerland? Do you want to store it in the Cayman Islands, Singapore? As long as you are willing to pay the bill, the service is available.
Now, what does that bill look like?
The bill is relative to the amount that you're saving. So it's based on a percentage.
Okay.
So everyone's situation is different. Like I said, we do have minimums. You can't do everything for everybody, but you want to do $1 million. Let's throw out a round figure. Everyone's situation is different. You want to do $1 million. There's going to be time restraints. There's going to be method of payment. You make your payment. We tell you what the parameters are. It's going to be turned around in XYZ amount of time. And it's my job to turn that around in the time that we say we're going to turn it around in. If it doesn't happen that way, you're going to probably get a phone call or email or something from myself personally to say, hey, it's going to be a little late, or it came in early.
Okay.
That's how we function. Those are the capabilities of what we can do.
Okay. Love it. Let's not say $1 million, right? Because I know everybody's in here, we don't really have $1 million, right? We wanted to invest in something just a little bit smaller, just to start off like small. Say, ladies, we could spend $2,000 on a purse, right? You see it. Instead of buying a $2,000 purse or some $2,500 shoes, we say, hey, I would like to take this money and invest. What type of advice? Going
back to scenarios, everyone's situation is different. We would then break down, okay, you prefer this metal. You want X, Y, you want the maximum amount of return, then we'll say we suggest this metal based on what's going on and based on your needs. So we'll say 10,000 is a minimum.
Okay.
We can do this number. I would recommend you do it like this and like this. Nothing is guaranteed. It's impossible to make guarantees in this world. I'm not going to say, oh, it's going to double next year. You expect somebody to give you a turnaround in a year. I'm not your guy. That's a miracle. I can't guarantee that. Everything that we do is for people that have long-term goals. If you want instant gratification, metals are not that thing. Metals aren't going to necessarily get you rich. But like I go back to, it's going to keep you secure.
Secure.
You're going to rest your head at night knowing you have something that is tangible, just like your house. You know you can wake up, you can touch it, nothing's going to happen to it. If your house burns down, it will still be there, literally. Worst case scenario, not wishing that on anybody, but...
I know, knock on wood somewhere.
Yeah, we're a different asset class. So.
Love it. Okay, so as we wrap the session up, and we're going to take some Q&As in a minute, but what's the last thing or last words that you have to say to those out there who would like to invest? Starting with you, Andre.
Well, I was going to say, we facilitate multiple aspects of people's lives. As Danielle says, your anniversaries, you can make some money, and then go spend some money. We all do it. We like to look nice, feel nice. Last words are invest or indulge.
But not both. Can we do both?
You can do both. A lot of clients do. People think, oh, if you just saved everything, why do that? Life is for living. But there's moderation in everything.
Right. Danielle?
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. When coming into this space, precious metals, jewelry, diamonds, education is everything. Knowing what you're buying, knowing what you're being sold, and actually doing the work, the homework on it. Andre likes to say, no one goes out and buys a house without doing some research. This asset class takes you into that place where you're spending that kind of money. If you can't do the research, find someone you can trust that's gonna walk you through it and not just give you anything.
Love it. Mr. Easton?
I would say that for the African American community, they don't look at a dollar. They don't have a value in a dollar. They don't believe that if you buy a coin, a silver coin for $25, it's worth it. They would rather go it and spend it someplace else where they don't have any return or don't see it. But for me, if you have some extra money that you have that's liquid, buy some coins. Buy an American Eagle, buy a Buffalo, silver coin, and accumulate it. Every time you find yourself an extra $25 or $30, buy a coin. That's a way you can build wealth. You'll be surprised in a few years what you have. Yeah.
Buy my coins, okay?
Yeah.
I will see y'all next
Well,
week.
and here's the thing. I'm not saying that you should even have to do it with us. It would be nice if you did it with us.
Right.
But the craziest thing I would tell anybody, you can do it with anybody. Because we're not the only people that do this. But the reality is, who's going to help you do it the people you should be doing it with are people that have your best interest at heart.
Absolutely.
Like anything else. You want the person that manages your money, if you have a financial planner, you want them to have your best interest at heart.
Exactly.
The person that's your realtor, you want people in your life that have your best interest at heart. I just think you should do business with people that you feel you can trust.
Absolutely. And
whether it's us or someone else.
But one last thing. I remember you guys were telling me you went to a convention, and it was maybe, 2 other black people or companies that were there. Really quickly, tell me about that convention, because I was like, and somebody showed me a picture.
The Las Vegas convention.
The Las Vegas convention, yes. And there were so many other companies and people that didn't look like us, and it was maybe you guys and another company that were there. So we don't necessarily think about this business. So tell me a little bit, just really quickly, about that Las Vegas convention.
It happens every year. But it was a great experience. I left New York for a long time, and I was able to meet a lot of people that I lost contact with. And it's something that we plan on doing it every year, because just to see how other companies operate and what they do and the contacts that you can make. It is a great experience, and it's something that we plan to do every year.
Nice. How can they get in contact really quick? And Instagram and...
So our platforms, we also do a podcast. We have media, our own, the Alex Lexington Network, where our goal is to share information, education, on precious metals, fine jewelry, and not just our industry, but we partner with other entrepreneurs, people that want to tell their story, tell the different services that they provide. So that's the alexlexingtonnetwork.com. Alex Lexington is the brand overall. That's the precious metal side. And then we have the diamond side, which does all the fine jewelry. The pieces Danielle wearing are from a high-end vendor that they make exclusive pieces that are fancy cut diamonds. So we can source and do things. The alexlexingtondiamonds.com is where you would be able to find pieces like this. Now, we specialize in doing more in person. So we have our online presence, but most of our clients reach out and contact us.
Okay.
So we're big on personal touch. As Danielle says, the website is just there because everyone needs to have a website. At the end of the day, Most of our clients are reaching out to us. Most of our clients send an email.
Okay.
They don't even know when we put updates on the website. They
Okay.
just go on the website to check pricing in general, whether it's jewelry, whether it's coins and bullion. Most of our business is done in person and through referral relationships. We're big on that. So that's what we stress.
Nice. So everybody, round of applause for Alex Lexington. It was a great conversation. I learned a lot. And like they said up here, they keep stressing the importance of doing your research, right? Do we want to go ahead and get some questions going? Do we have another mic that we can give them in the middle? So if you can come to the middle, young beautiful lady.
Hi guys, how you doing? So I've known you all for a long time, and I've heard you all speaking about your business. Because I am in my 50s, almost mid-50s.
Ooh, you look good.
Ooh.
Yes,
Slowly,
ma'am.
slowly. I have not thought about investing like I should have. And so I appreciate you all starting your podcast and doing more information. And like your dad said, we don't think about longevity oftentimes in our culture because most times people just live in check to check, whatever level you're on. Even people who are well off are still living check to check. And so I really encourage you all to continue to give information and remind us because your dad keeps talking about the coins. Believe it or not, I just saw some coins my mother's stuff had from my grandmother, and she had this whole bunch of coins. I'm like, Grandma just was collecting all these coins. I had no idea that they have value, so I will come down to your shop just to see what we actually have, because I don't know, because we are ignorant about a lot of things. So please continue to do what you're doing. So we hear about precious metals, and then we hear about the fine diamonds and all of that. So when you are on a small little budget and you want to make an investment, where do you all gear people towards? The diamond side, or because are they still valuable in the sense of when you're comparing precious metal? Because I learned something new about platinum. I was with you. I was like, platinum is
Right.
the best
I'm
thing.
over here
And I'm
like,
like, okay, no, it's not gold. It's okay. When you're thinking about metals versus fine jewelry, when you have to make a decision, which way do you all gear people towards?
If you're... I got it.
She got it.
Here it is. I got it. For investment purposes, you really need to stay with the coins and bullion. That is going to be the lane you stay in completely with investment. When you come into the fine jewelry side, while jewelry is metal, it's diamonds, they are worth something. When you get into the jewelry side, you are really doing this because this is something I love, this is something I want to look at, and this is something I want to keep. It's going to become an heirloom. It may become an investment for your children based on where metal is going to go. And that is the education of it all. When you buy it, it's pretty and that's great, but we have to open our mind to what it really is. Because if you spend it today, you're not going to get it back tomorrow when you buy jewelry. I stress that to clients.
So that's the indulgent part.
That is the indulgent part, and the investment part is when you buy the coins and the bullion.
And you all sell that?
We do all categories.
We're yin and yang.
Yeah.
Invest. Something smart.
We have someone else.
So I have a question. Regular 9-to-5 job. What does that investment look like for me? For instance, I know this may sound real petty. I put $50 in a petty cash fund for me. So anytime I go on vacation, I'm just pulling from this fund. So I'm just swiping my card. But of course, I also want to do something with this petty cash. So me taking my petty cash to you, how can you turn that into something that will become more of an investment for me? What does that look like, me either calling or walking into your store?
I got the green light. Okay. Our setup has shifted a little bit. When we first started, we wanted to service everybody. That's not possible. We have pivoted to a point where we do a lot of consultations in a wealth management aspect. So we've implemented minimums because time is limited and we can't get to everyone. Now, if it's something that we have in stock in the store and you call and say, hey, I would like this, and I have it available, or we have it available, sure, we can do that all day. But outside of that, generally speaking, we now go to places where I don't want to say it's serious investing, because when you go to your wealth manager, they tell you this is the minimum. And those minimums are real numbers. So we've gone more toward a serious investor because we're available. When I get off the stage and there are 3 phone calls from clients of mine, I'm returning the phone call at 9 o'clock at night. They would not be surprised if I return a phone call at 9 o'clock at night, if I return an email at 12 o'clock in the morning. We have conversations. So it just depends on where you are. I can't facilitate everything. If it's something at a certain level, yes, I can do it.
So what would you say would be the minimum that I need to walk into with to have a conversation?
10K.
Okay.
Just to piggyback off what he said, a lot of times we do get a lot of coins coming to the store, which we buy and we have in the vault. That if you walk in the store and say you need 10 American Eagles, we have it. We can sell it to you if we have it, but we won't go out and order 10 American Eagles because it's not.
If it's available, we do our
available,
best to facilitate.
Yes.
Everyone here, for example, if you signed up, you say, I like this product. I'm interested in this product or this service. We have a road things that we say. I don't have to go look for clients in that regard. I don't make money keeping it. We don't make money keeping it. And our clients appreciate that because now they know they're on a preferred list. So we have a preferred service, and the reason why we're even out here tonight is to get more people that can appreciate being a preferred person. Everybody likes having that person. And being reliable is the goal. So we can facilitate some things we can't within the constraints of how we operate. Did that answer your question? Yes. Thank you.
Next person.
Got a gentleman in the front. Oh.
Well, yeah. We're going to give you the mic next. So.
I have 2 questions. First question is, if someone has something like Cartier or Rolex or something coming from one of those houses that makes really expensive jewelry and watches, when they come to scrap that, is it all treated the same as?
That's a good question.
No, it's not.
Okay.
When you get into the higher jewelry houses, the Cartiers, the Rolexes, the other watches, the Tiffany's, they're in a category all themselves, depending on what it is, because at the end of the day, it is still, if it's a Tiffany bracelet, it's still sterling. If it's a Cartier love bracelet, it's 18 karat gold. It'll get preferential treatment by above the non-names, but it is still just what the metal is for the most part.
Okay.
When you're scrapped.
In some cases, it can be case by case. Watches are a category with themselves. We have a perception of what watches are in the market. And to be honest, it's like a car. A car is not a car. People want to go from point A to point B, great. But there's some cars that appreciate in value. It depends on the case scenario. There are brands that do carry a premium. We have the connections to potentially get you above market or certain market values for items depending on what they are. But some brands just don't have that. And there's just some things that we just don't do. And it's not just, and people think that it's because we say these things, it's just us. No, it's the market. Everything that we do is based on what the market goes by. There's a reason why, for example, you have a Cadillac Escalade 2020. There's a rate for a Cadillac 2020 Escalade by Kelley Blue Book. We're all using the market, and we like to say we're giving fair market value for whatever those items are. So it depends on what the case scenario is. If it's a mass-produced, highly mass-produced item, it's going to be regular. If it's not a mass-produced item, there could be additional value, and we would extend that to you as a client if that's something that you have that you're looking to liquidate, as we like to say. Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yes,
okay.
There's a difference. And my other question was, because I've always been into jewelry. I'm an artist, and I also work with a media company. But one thing I want to know, is there a certain standard for jewelry that is vintage? So whether it comes through a royal line, like crown jewels, or at some point it was involved in that I guess like a lineage.
Like an antique
right,
situation?
Antique. What happens when whether it's just a regular person, jewelry that's from the 1920s or from a royal line, how does that get treated today? Is there
It depends on the item. Everything is case by case. I do a lot of the buying, and we have affiliations with different people that do antique services.
I don't cut him, but somebody would have to authenticate it.
That's the next thing.
That's going to be whether or not you get more for it. You got to be authenticated.
Once it is, depending on what it is, we're talking about royal lines.
Right,
now we're talking about Sotheby's, Christie's.
Yeah.
We're talking about the large auction houses that need to handle that kind of thing. Because depending on what it is, if you don't have a client who is going to want to purchase this, we have to go to the auction houses to find the clients. Because once you get above a certain dollar amount in jewelry that has retained its value, we're out of the scrap game now.
Next person, I think he had a question.
Yeah, I got like a two-part question. One, if I wanted to invest $5,000 to $10,000 in like coins, eagles, gold, silver, or platinum, which one would appreciate the fastest to liquidate? You know what I mean? I'm in it for the profit. So if I'm spending $2,000 to $5,000 a year buying gold or silver, which ones would be the best target?
That is relative. To be frank, if you're investing, of course you're in it for the profit.
Yes.
That's the expectation. Let's not beat around it for what it is. You put your money in something, you expect it to appreciate in value.
Yes.
That's the end goal. There are, let me say this the best way I can. Different things appreciate different ways based on different socioeconomic situations.
Okay.
Historically, some double, some quadruple. It just depends on what is happening at the time. The category of precious metals in general, there's no magic bullet to say one is going to fix it all. That's why they say diversification is key. You don't put all your money in the bank. You don't put all your money in stocks. You don't put all your money in just about anything in life. So if you think one thing is going to fix it all, I go back to I can't fix that. But in precious metals, you try and diversify within, let's say, a gold and silver.
Yeah.
A market industry thing that people say is you do it 60. There's some people that have no budget and they say they only want silver. There's some people that have a budget and say they only want gold. It's just, I like to say, based on you, what your goals are. If you want to do something in 10 years,
yes,
we can take a look at what that looks like based on where things are at the moment. Because tomorrow, the market could say that silver is the thing that's going to have the most upside. Gold could be the thing that has the most upside, depending on what you're trying to do.
Yes.
Everything is case by case. So just like a wealth manager can't say, oh, you're going to guarantee to double your money next week. It's impossible. But we can do it, give you the best, our goal is to get you the best possible scenario based on what you're trying to get to.
Within a time frame.
Within a time frame.
Now, as far as my second question is, coins or bullion?
It goes back to some things. I'm not a tax person, but what is your tax situation? These are factors. That's why it's not a cookie-cut conversation. There are some things that have no capital gains ramifications. How fast do you want to liquidate?
Okay.
I got people that call me up and say, I need this moved in 24 hours. There are deals we can do the same day. There are deals that were done in 20 minutes. So it just depends on what you're trying to do. I'll give an example. We have a couple of clients. They're retired. They come in once a month, once a quarter, or whenever they want to do something with a trip, renovation, whatever. They're not doing anything that requires any tax implications. So it doesn't matter which one they went into. And there's some people that they do a once-a-year thing and they liquidate a lot of things. So it's based on you. I know I'm throwing out a lot of scenarios, but it is as elaborate or simple based on your situation.
Okay, all right, cool.
So what you trying to do with the coins?
He's trying to stack. He's trying to get where everybody else is trying to get.
So you trying to stack the coins? Oh, okay.
Right.
So we have someone right here
Okay.
trying to stack the coins.
I don't have a question.
Who's that? Okay, you.
But I do have a comment. I'm an investor and I'm a buyer. But integrity and service, this family here can do it all. I met, it's the truth. I met Andre, I shopped around first when I'm down here in Atlanta, and I met Andre on a phone call. When I called, he picked up, very professional, but I was like, this is a brother. I said, I'm going over there and I'm gonna check this out. So when I get there, I'm like, yo, it's great conversation and everything, but the advice that they've given me and the help that they've given me have been so good. So I just wanted to say thank you to you guys. And I'll add a little bit, one more thing. Pops is official, because I'm from New York, and the people that I know happen to know him. And I was just like, wow. I was like, okay, that solidified it for me. Like I said, thank you guys so much for your help over the years. I appreciate it.
You have been a great customer, man. You have been a great customer.
We're going to come to the middle. Whoever, you have a question?
The young lady in the front has been waiting.
Right, I know she's been waiting for a while, but.
I don't even need a microphone. Can y'all make some noise?
Yes.
Inspired by the conversation, and I just want to thank you guys for continuing to be representation of Black wealth. It's so important. On the conversation of the coins and the metals, like Miss Queen talked about, I think she may have stepped out. You know, in our community, sometimes that's a lackluster conversation. Sometimes we are ignorant to it. Sometimes the information, a lot of times the information isn't passed down, and we're forced to learn it in our later years. On the conversation of the coins, what would be the best way or the best source to kind of go start researching before you get into it, before you even come to a company like you guys? What would be like a reputable source that you could name that I can do some research on before stepping into it?
That's a good question.
Well, you could go to see how it performed. It's public record. You can go back 10 years, say, get a barometer of 10 years and see how the metal performed up to the present. And you will, that's really how you find out whether or not it is a good investment. I told a story about the guy in 2012 who came and bought all the gold and silver. Now, from 2012 to 2023, he more than doubled his money. It doesn't happen in all the cases, but you can look and see how it performed from year to year up to the present, and then you could decide whether or not it's something. It's not an overnight investment. It's not buy today and sell tomorrow, you're going to lose money. Plain and simple, because there's a premium to it. So it's a long-term investment, and it's the best. Your best education is to look and see how it performed over the certain amount of years.
Now, but and also, I guess just to add to it as well, because like you said, digital age is what we're in right now.
Right.
And so a lot of people, they take classes and they pay people for these classes and pay people for informational, right? And so sometimes you really don't know who to trust. And so what we're saying is, where would we go to a Barnes and Nobles and pick up a book? Do we go on YouTube?
I would say this.
But your information was very valuable as well.
Yeah, the thing is this, you get, I'm sorry, just a minute. You get up to the minute information. All the information is online. You get up to the minute information. And this is not something that someone need to publish. The gold, silver, platinum is traded on the stock market. All of the fix. We don't set a price. Wall Street set a price. And whatever the price is, today it's one price, tomorrow is another price. I would even say tomorrow. 10 o'clock in the morning is one price, by 12 o'clock is another price. If you check and see how it performed over a period of time, that's your best information.
You can look at the stock market and see how it performs and just sit back and
Every
do
day.
your
Website that
research.
we use a website called Kitco, Kitco.
AI,
Kitco.
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 Yes.
We use their ticker. All of our prices are literally based off their ticker. Some different sites are going to have prices a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but for the most part, it's going to be in the same range. What Dad is saying is very accurate, but to be more specific, the CME, they do public trading. The CME is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. All of our futures, all of our food, all of our lumber, everything is traded on there. You want to see the pricing history, you want to see where they predict gold to go for the next month or two.
Right.
All of that happens. All of those numbers are there. CME.
CME. Charlie
McDonald's Emerald.
Echo.
But the reason why we can't give you a specific location is because it's really your interpretation of the data.
Right.
So to say, that's why I can't tell you, oh, it's going to be this number. You use your common sense and say, I saw it was here, I see it here, it could drop through the floor. But chances are it's going to do this. My common sense tells me this. So I like to stress that deductive reasoning.
Love it.
If you want to look at types of coins and bullion, I would suggest coinflation.
Coinflation.
They'll give you the background on all just about everything.
Yeah, coin-wise, historically. And that's on the older coins.
Behind the coins and bullion, and who produces them, what countries they come from, what mints they come out of.
And there are layers to this. Coins are going to be made by governments. Bars are going to be made by institutions. There are companies that produce bars every day. People don't know this. The American Eagle is made by the US Treasury. They've been making that coin since '86. Most people never even knew that the US government still makes gold coins. They can't make them fast enough. You can go look up how many ounces they put out. They're behind production.
Wow.
They have a demand. You name a price, I don't care how much money you have. There's not enough money. There's not enough production for what they're trying to get the demand for. So that's why when we tell people, are you aware, it's a different animal. I'm not trying to say that you should, it's going to fix all your problems, but a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you're in it. And it doesn't really matter what your budget is.
So education, studying, researching,
Yeah.
just how we pay
like you
attention
wanna
to
go
those
buy your car.
sneakers, and we look at sneakers online and see what's, okay, this $300, okay, next month it might be $200. It's basically studying and researching and just watching how they fluctuate and looking at the trends as well.
Correct.
So that you equate that, we just tapping into that wealth marketing and coin. You know what I'm saying? Because again, like I said, we're just everything is so digital, right?
I would say this.
The trend right now is real estate or entrepreneurship. Everybody's not going to be able to create a business, but what we can do is we can study and create wealth for ourselves, right?
I was going to say also, the reason why nobody talks about it is because it's not sexy. It is sexy, but it's not sexy.
Wealth is sexy to me. I
But
don't know
here's the
about
thing. Here's the thing. It sits there.
Yeah.
But you wake up 10 years from now, and it's different. Chances are it's going to be in a better situation. But it's not fast. People want things fast. We live in a fast society. Everything is digital, but nothing is real. You can wake up and go and pick it up and say, I know it's worth this, and it's literally been around since biblical times. I don't care what cryptocurrency, I don't care what anything. I'm not saying I don't believe in those things. I'm just saying that institutions are still building buildings around metal, last I checked.
When I started in this business, gold was $400 an ounce. That's an increase over that period of time.
Got one last question?
One last question.
Oh, two?
Oh.
Sorry. Two questions.
Oh, do I need to stand up? Okay.
Sure, stand up.
I know you guys are all about education, which is perfect. We've had several conversations over the years about cost versus worth. I'd say to you, I have friends who will go spend $50,000 in an icebox, and then you'll say that chain that they leave out with is only worth 10 when they go to the place around the corner that really does jewelry stuff. So really, I just wanted you all to, since I know, I have that knowledge from y'all, just to tell everybody else about just cost of things versus the actual worth of things, whether it be gold, platinum, diamond, silver, or whatever.
This is her category.
The jewelry and luxury space is luxury. It's something I want, not something I need. It's a real conversation that we have to have. And when you have something custom made, you are paying for time, you're paying for labor. And when it's a one-of, you're not spreading that out over 10,000 pieces made, 100,000 pieces made. Those diamonds are hand set. If you have 500 diamonds in one piece and they are hand set, how much is that jeweler's labor worth? It is a service.
You're wearing art.
Yeah,
You're wearing art.
Each diamond will cost you close to $5 to set one of them.
And that's a great price.
So when you see an artist, somebody has a piece that's 5,000 stones in it.
Right.
Nothing against it.
Yeah.
Looks nice. It's beautiful, but
just
know what you're getting, and we have that conversation. If you know what you're doing, and this is what you're doing, it's a completely different conversation than saying, oh, I think this is gonna be this, I spent this, is worth this. And are you getting full value for what they're charging you? That's something that we stress. Know that you're getting the value for what you're being charged for. Danielle has a bracelet on right now. We know that the value is the rate that they're charging for this bracelet is accurate because of the quality of the stones that are being put in there. The biggest problem that I see why we really got into the retail side of jewelry is because, quite frankly, we got tired of seeing our people spending large amounts of money and not getting what they thought they spent their money on.
Right.
Because we spend the money. Nothing's wrong with spending the money. Because this is my ring. I custom made it. I spent a lot of money on that green infinity stone. The reality is, though, I know what I spent my money on. And we don't know what we spend our money on. Research is key. I'm not saying you're going for the cheapest, because quality is always going to cost. A quality diamond is always going to cost money. A real diamond is always going to cost money. It is what it is. We like nice things. We like to look nice and feel nice. We all in here look amazing. But know what you're spending your money on. And I have that conversation every day. And Atlanta's known for it.
Man.
All I like to say is, if you're going to spend it, just know that you got real diamonds.
Right.
Did you pay for natural diamonds? Mm-hmm. And you got lab diamonds. Mm. Did you pay for what you thought was the biggest conversation I get is, oh, I thought I paid for 18 karat. It's 10 karat. Mm. We have this conversation once a week. People in here can testify, they've seen it in person. Yeah. So I like to just say, know what you're getting. If you're gonna pay for something, get what you thought you paid for. Yeah. That's just fair. Nothing's wrong with that. You wanna spend $50,000 on a piece of jewelry, just know that what you got charged for was what you paid for.
Mm. Don't be afraid to ask questions, because again, like you said, if you are spending $50,000, $20,000, $10,000, I don't care if it's $2,000, ask all the questions that we need, because again, it's our hard-earned
People are coming
money.
to our store to verify what other people did in other stores.
But then once they buy it and they come to your store, it's like it's too late, because you can't.
I've sold paperwork to prove, and they go back to the people and say, this wasn't such and such metal.
But what can they do about it? They can return it. Will people get?
I don't know if
some
they've been able to
some
return
won't
it.
give their money back. Some
I don't know
will
if they've
not.
been able to return it.
Because sometimes it's custom made.
Right.
So if it's custom made, it's okay. What do you want us to do? You pay 50. It's worth 10.
You could have spent the money right the first time.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just here to say,
spend the money right the first time. That's why
our people want to look good, feel good. I just want you to do it right.
Okay.
That's all I stress. Integrity.
All right. Okay. So I think we have 1, 2, 3. So 3 more questions and that's it. And then we're gonna try to wrap it up. Okay. So you young lady,
Can we
beautiful.
make it quick? Because
30 seconds.
yeah, people need to get what they're
These
going
are some
tonight.
good questions, by the way. Quick question.
We can talk personally after for anybody that wants to ask something personally. We'll be here.
So my comment is actually a thank you to you all up there. I am their daughter's kindergarten teacher, and she's no longer in kindergarten. There's been many moons later, and I'm still in their lives. And that's because I've been a constant observer from the eyes of their child on the growth of this business. And I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about how they're taking this legacy to the next level. Everything about them is genuine, and I'm looking forward to making my first investment with you.
Yay! All right. I love it. So we have a question here.
Also, I was just going to ask, when it comes to investing in gold bullions and gold bars, is there some significance to the stamps on the gold bars and the gold bullions?
That's a good
There's so
question.
many factors, but that's a whole other conversation. We can have that one after. But yes.
Okay, really quick question. Thank you all so much for this. You spoke a lot, Dad, about if I have 25 bucks, if I got 35 bucks left over to go ahead and start my collection. My question is simple. I know I don't have my 10K, right? If I'm that person that doesn't have my 10K, can I bring you my 25 or 35 and start my collection and start building my way to wealth?
Yes. A lot of times we have inventory.
Right.
We have people that come in, they spend $200. But at the same time, I like to say, did you do some research? I don't have the 45 minutes or hour-long consultation time that I would necessarily do because we try and get as many people in as possible to facilitate people at a high level. We do what we can. Let's see what we can do. I can't guarantee everything, but we're here to see what we can do. That's our goal.
But as long as we have it, as long as it comes in there and we have it in the vault, you can buy it out of the vault.
That was the last question? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm asking just as a father because I do love this. I have all daughters. And so I was wondering because I was doing my weekly parental check on my daughter's room and I noticed that she was collecting quarters, right? So I'm asking as a father, like, how could I foster her love of collecting coins and kind of transition that into knowing that this is legitimate, a business, a family legacy, or that type of thing? What type of resources would they have?
My youngest client is 10 years old. My youngest client, I'm sorry, he's probably 12 now. My youngest client was started at 10. He started coming in, spending his allowance money, and there's no reason I had to turn him away. He was spending like $10, $15 buying 1964 and older junk silver. Started doing it so long, his aunt and uncle would visit from Carolina because our prices were better than where they were buying from, came in and started buying as well. So it'll be contagious. And they'll like it because it's tangible. Once more, our kids, they see people swipe. They don't understand the value of a lot of things. They can touch it, they can feel it. 1964 and older dimes, quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins are worth more than face value. If you have it, educate the children on them, let them collect them, and they'll have something that will be more than what it looks like long term.
I think that wraps up the Q&A. This was a great was this a great conversation or what? I want to say thank you all once again for, like we say, being a representation of what wealth is and educating us on a market that is untapped, especially by the Black community, because I didn't know before talking to you all, but to me, it's making me change the trajectory of how I can create wealth.
Correct.
And I absolutely love it. One last thing, Ms.
We just want to thank you all so much for being here tonight. This is our first event with Alex Lexington, and we are so excited. We're thankful to have everyone here. Please don't forget, pull out those cell phones, y'all. We have to support this Black business. Follow on social media, alex.lexington.network. Hashtag that you were here tonight. If you haven't checked into the system, please check in with the ladies on the side here at this high boy to get your information into the system. And we are very happy to have you all here.
Here at Alex Lexington, we're here to service all parts.
Whether your budget is $30 or $300,000 in store or online.
So from our family to yours, see you soon.